Hi buddies, welcome back to my channel. It's your baby girl again, as you already know, Oshine Adela. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing very well. On this tutorial, as you can see in the thumbnail, you guys already know what we are doing. We're actually creating a corset pattern. Okay, but this corset pattern, we are going for 3 types of cups, as you can see in the thumbnail. And this first part, because we're going to be having 3 parts of this video, and the first part is the first cup pattern, which is very common, and most of our big fashion designers, they use this kind of cup designs mostly. Do you understand? For example, Vicky James, Imagine by Bukola, Matopia, Prudence Fashion, they use these corsets most often. So I want you guys to stay tuned as we do this together. So first of all, this is our basic bodice structure, right? And I'm going to be making a tutorial video on how to make a bodice structure for a beginner. Okay, so this is me trying to get my center bust, okay, which is your nipple to nipple, which is 4. Okay, but if you are doing like a smaller size person, you can do 3.5, but this is actual 4 inches. So this is me trying to measure in the 4 inches, and after that I'm going to label. Okay, the labeling is very important so you don't get confused along the line. So this is the bust, the under bust, and the waist. Okay, and as you can see, the extra allowance I kept is 2 inches, just in case there is like an emergency. Okay, so after that I kept my tape rule at the center of my bust, as you can see, and I'm measuring 3.5 all the way round. Okay, I did not put my tape rule on the under bust. I kept it in between, like the middle of my bust line. Okay, and I measured 3.5 round the bust. Then after that, you can either use your compass or use a curve ruler to get your round circumference. Just get that circle structure. If it is not in a well circled structure, then what you measured is very wrong. I hope that is very clear as well. Why I said that it can be very wrong is because you can mistakenly measure 3.5 upward. Okay, so it can give you a round structure in a different look entirely. Do you understand? So that is why I'm saying that you have to be very accurate. If it is 4 inches you are doing, let it be 4 inches. If it is 3.5 inches, let it be 3.5 inches. Now, after getting the normal round bust circumference, then you go by the waist side. You go in by 1 inch and you go out by 1.5 inches. And know that this 1.5 and the 1 inch, which is 2.5 inches, will be cut out. So you have to add the 2.5 inches outside the side of your pattern. So you add the 1 inch and the 1.5 inches on the under bust and on the bust, and and the upper bust also. As you can see what I'm doing, you do the replica of what you've done on the waist all the way up. Then you can now rule it out straight line. You get a straight line from it. Do you understand? Please don't forget, the aim of the 1.5 inches outside is to get a nice couture structure at the end of your corset making. Do you understand? So as you're getting out your 2.5, you have to add it to the outside allowance. When you're making your actual cutout, it doesn't like reduce your normal body size. Do you understand? And after getting all the necessary details that we've gotten, then you can now use the curve part of your ruler. I am really used to this curve ruler, but if you have like some other curve ruler that can give you this exact structure of what I'm doing, you can use it. Do you understand? So you use this curve ruler to get the actual bust curve that you actually need. Do you understand? So you do that on the right side of the cup, and you do that on the left side on the cup also. Make sure it is aligned with the 1 inch and the 1.5 inches that you've measured already. And after that, what we're actually doing next is to now get our perfect cup size. So at this point, what I did is I went up by 1 inch, and I also came in by 1/2 inch. It could also be 1 inch also. And by the bust side, I went out by 2 inches, and I also went up by 1.5 or 2 inches. But for me, I did 1.5. Then you can now connect from the under bust to the bust side where you measured. As you can see, you can also come out by 1.5 inches and go up by 1.5 inches, depending on what you actually want and how big the bust is. Do you understand? This measurement I'm actually doing is for a size 12 to size 14 bust. That is, if your bust is like size 40, size 38, you can actually do this exact cup size that I'm working on. All the parts you don't need, you can just use your pencil or your marker to cancel those lines, so that when you're cutting you don't get distracted with the other lines. And after that, you can now go to the upper bust. You can also come down from the upper bust by 1.5 if you want your cleavage to show, and if you don't want your cleavage to show, you can go in by 1, or you can just leave it at the exact upper bust measurements that we've done earlier. Then you connect it to the center, front, and the side, which is the second side bust that we did. Do you understand? I hope that is very clear. If you don't understand, you can just rewatch the video to just understand what I'm talking about. And I said it earlier that when you measure your 1 inch and 1.5 inches, which is 2.5, you should make sure that you add it to the side of your pattern. Make sure you add it to the side of your pattern, so that when you are cutting, the measurement doesn't reduce. Please, it is very, very important to actually do that. Please, very, very important. So after that, what I'm doing next is to connect the armhole to the exact bust cup. As you can see, what I'm actually doing now, I'm going to extend it out. So the old armhole is not necessary again. You can just use your chalk to cancel it, so that when you're trying to use your scissors to cut it out, it will be very easy for you to cut out, and you know which line you're actually cutting out. And this part is for those that they actually want to add yoke to their corsets. The yoke can represent lace on the upper part or skin net on the upper part. So what you will do, by the armhole side, you come up by 1 inch. So the 1 inch will be the net side, which is the yoke side of your fabric, so that you'll be able to join the back yoke and the front yoke together by 1 inch. Do you understand? Now we have 3 armholes in this pattern at the moment. The first pattern, which is the first armhole, is for those that they actually want to add an off shoulder to their clothes. Do you understand? So that is where you'll be cutting your cup from. Do you understand? And the second side, which is the second armhole, is for those that they actually just want to make a normal corset that does not have any sleeve on their clothes. So you can do the second armhole. And the last armhole is for the yoke, for those that they want to add skin nets to their outfits. Do you understand? So that is just basically the 3 armholes that we have at the moment. So I hope that was very well explanatory. So what we are doing next is, by the bust side, we are coming down by 1 inch by the edge, which is the side, and the center front also we are coming down by 1 inch, as you can see what I'm doing in the video. So by the first side you come down by 1, and the other side you come down by 1, and then I'm introducing my curve ruler again to join the first side to the center bust. As you can see, I'm joining the first side in a curvy part and the second side also in a curvy part. We actually need that curve structure so that when we are stitching our fabric together, we can get that cup fold. I just hope that is very clear. Then when you're done, you can now label. Please label your pattern, because when you cut them, you can always mix them together. So please label your pattern immediately after you've actually chalked every necessary part that you need to chalk. So you label them and then cut it out. Now what I'm cutting out a pattern for just a corset. There's not going to be sleeve, there's not going to be yoke. So as you can see what I'm doing, I'm cutting the second and the last armhole. So that is the yoke I'm talking about. That is the last yoke that you actually need for those that they want to add skin net to their corset. So I hope that is very clear also. After that, all I'm doing is to just cut out the actual cup that we'll be working on. And please, like I said earlier, so you don't get confused along the line, all the lines that you don't need, just use your marker to erase them. Just give it a zigzag on it. So after that, then you can now cut out your actual pattern. This is just from the shoulder to the waist, that is from the upper bust to the waist. You can also extend it to the hip side depending on what kind of corset you are making. You can also extend it to the hip side also. Now as you can see, I told you earlier that 1 inch and 1.5 inches, which is 2 inches, should be added to the side. This is the reason, because this actual 2 inches that we kept in the center will be taken out of the pattern entirely. And when you're cutting it on your fabric, please don't forget to always add at least 1 inch or 1.5 inches allowance to every of the fabric. Do you understand? So this is the yoke line that I just want to show you guys for clarification's sake. As you can see, this 1 inch side, it is very important in your yoke fabric, and some people do not even add it, although, but for me, I always add it to my yoke so that when I'm connecting the back and the front together, it will be very easy and flexible for my clients to wear. So after that, this is me just trying to show you guys my actual cup that we need to work on at the moment. So when you cut out the upper yoke, then you can now trace out the side, the down part of the yoke, as you can see in what I'm doing. Then the upper part is very important to actually work on for us to get that cup size, that cup curve. The upper part won't be just straight, so what we need to do is to contour, to just give it a nice construction, that curvy construction. So what you're going to do is to just trim out the parts that you used your curve ruler to construct. Then you use your sellotape to join it together, and that is all. When you join it together smoothly, it's going to give you that curvy structure. Do you understand? And if this is not done for your cup corset, trust me, you won't get exact that curvy look. Do you understand? It will just be straight, and you have to be going through a lot while trying to press it and try to give it a nice curve and all of those. Do you understand? Now as you can see in this video, the upper yoke is already giving that side curvy structure, it's already giving the curvy look already on its own. So when you're cutting it on your fabric, you just place it on your fabric and just trace it out and add your allowance to it, and that's just basically all about this tutorial. So this is what it looks like at the end. This is what you actually get if you're adding your upper yoke, which is the net. This is actually what you will get. Do you understand? But if you're not adding yoke, you can just take off the the yoke away from it and you're good to go. And you can also freestyle the yoke as well. Probably you don't want the round neck thing to also show on it. You can just freestyle, literally. You can just cut it out and give it another structure, another look, that the chest line will be opened. As you can see in the picture I just displayed by your right, you can just give it this exact look also, depending on literally what you want. Do you understand? Fashion is very broad. You can be creative, you can just do whatever you want to do along the line. Do you understand? So thank you buddies for watching this tutorial, and I hope you find this tutorial very helpful. Thank you buddies. As you already know what to do, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification buttons for more content that I will be dropping. Okay, and please give my video more likes. More content basically will be dropping very soon. Thank you buddies for watching my tutorial, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.